Building veterans' futures, saving veterans' lives. Is there anything more purposeful than that? Maybe not. We're going to talk about it. Tracey Bradley of Operation New Uniform is next. Now the heat is on. Let's get cooking. This is Purpose Under Pressure, sharing stories of why we're here, how we fight to make things happen, no matter the pressure. And if you like this show enough to listen, if you're here right now, you must. Do me a favor, hit that follow button, give us a review, subscribe, maybe leave a rating. Just tell a friend. It's important. It helps others to know that this show might be worth a listen, and it'll get out there and help motivate others too. And that's what we're all about. Purpose Under Pressure is brought to you in partnership with Sandler by the Ruby Group, serving sales professionals nationwide from their Akron and Columbus, Ohio, and Jacksonville, Florida locations. You know, selling the right way. I've done it for 30 years. Selling is an art. It's not just about income or revenue. It affects your brand too and how your customers think of you. And if you're going to train your sales team, do it on purpose with Sandler by the Ruby Group. Check them out online at therubygroup.sandler.com. And the Ruby Group and Sandler is one of the ways that I found this guest and made myself familiar with an organization called Operation New Uniform. Our show today is about veterans, and I've had a few on my show. You've got someone in your life, in your family, in your neighborhood, we all know, and you know that veterans know purpose and veterans know pressure. And that's what this is all about. Tracey Bradley Sr. is the director of Operation New Uniform and a veteran of the U.S. Navy. He's our guest. Mr. Bradley, thank you for your service and welcome to Purpose Under Pressure.
Oh, you're quite welcome. And thank you for having me. Thank you for reaching out. I love this. This is awesome.
Yeah, me too. When I first met you, I was like, that guy needs to be on the show. I listened to you speak at a golf outing, and I said, not only does he ooze purpose and show pressure, but his organization does it perhaps even more. And I wanted to share that story with our listeners. And so let's do that, Tracey. Let me know a little bit about what Operation New Uniform is, and let's talk about the purpose of what you guys are trying to accomplish.
Oh, well, first, again, let me thank you. And definitely thank Sandler, the Ruby Group. Yes, I was up at that golf outing in Ohio, and some of those proceeds went towards our nonprofit. So they are a great supporter of us, our curriculum, teaching veterans how to sell themselves. So thank you, and thank Sandler, the Ruby Group. Operation New Uniform is a nonprofit that specifically works with veterans who are, say, a year out to 6 months out, transitioning, and veterans who've already transitioned and been out here on, we try not to use the word civilian community, but been out here in the business community and are having some struggles with finding their purpose, their passion, getting in the employment field. I liken it to, as a 20-year Navy vet, when I went to boot camp, whether I went to Navy boot camp, whether it's Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, they told us all, regardless of your race, what state you're from, what area you're from, you're going to do it the Marine Corps way. You're going to do it the Navy way. Everyone's going to march the same, talk the same. Well, Operation New Uniform, we take on that same mindset of regardless of what branch of service you served in, now you have to learn the business community way. You have to learn the corporate way. You have to take off one uniform and put on a new uniform. So our whole mission is empowering active duty service members, veterans, and military spouses in that transition of hopefully finding their purpose and a sustainable career, not jobs, careers.
It's hard, isn't it? Because when I think of veterans and I think of people in the military, they're doing something I can't do. I look up to everyone and say, wow, thank you for everything you're doing. I chose not to do it and I can't do it. And yet it's difficult then, right? I don't think about it that way. As much as I look up to what they're accomplishing, it's hard to come out of the military and into what we don't like to call, but into the civilian life. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Tell me more about the struggles that these veterans are having, leaving and transitioning.
Well, one of the big things that we have found and that I've experienced myself is one of the things that Sandler, the Ruby Group teaches when you talk about in sales, identity versus role.
Yes.
That is the biggest thing with all of us veterans. Our role, I was an aviation ordnanceman. I worked on aircraft carriers, bombs and guns, on jets, on ships. And then the structure of the military is the rank. You follow the orders of the higher rank of the Uniform Code of Military Justice and officers appointed over you. Now, you transition out into the business community, civilian community, corporate America. You're adding, what are you bringing to the table? What is the conversation? It's not just following orders. It's the thinking pattern. It's understanding how to work with individuals instead of everyone has to work with you because you have more stripes than they do. Now you have to learn how to not build you have to learn how to build a team instead of just directing team members. And that is a big transition. And your role in the military, what I did, that is not my identity. Once you transition out, you have to learn your identity, your passion, your calling, and how that can help you become successful.
And that role is so important. We all identify. People listening right now, if you know what he's talking about, you go to work and people say, hey, how you doing? I'm a baker. I'm a businessman. I'm a business owner. I'm a social worker. No, you're not. You're doing that job. You're not that thing.
Exactly.
And you have to be able to separate those two things. And so these folks are in the military. What have you done for 20 years? Well, how are you going to come help me is what the businessman says. I'm interested then when they come out, they already have trouble. So they're coming out as, let's say, 20-year vets. They've got 20 years of experience at the highest level doing the highest things. And yet maybe they don't have the entry level skills that some business might need. Is that also a problem or a bias?
Very big problem that we work with our transition veteran and spouses with. We have this portion of our curriculum that we call give and take, where we talk about just the basic things of learning business language. As a Navy veteran, if I had to go use the bathroom, we would say, hey, I'm going to use the head. That is specifically a toilet or a bathroom in the business community, but learning how to switch those words off. Hey, I want to hang something on a bulkhead. No, you want to hang something on the wall. So we go over things as simple as learning the language of the corporate and business community, because 20 years, like you said, I'm used to speaking a certain way. Veterans are used to speaking and using that language in their branch. Now you've got to turn that off. You have to learn the business language. Something as simple to some of us as LinkedIn. I live on LinkedIn. Most of our transition veterans, they've heard of LinkedIn, don't have a LinkedIn page. And people may say, well, that's weird. You're getting into the business community and don't have a LinkedIn page. There's never a need for one on active duty.
Yeah.
There's no need for it. So
no need to network outside of the base, right? Yeah.
So it's starting at those baby steps. An interview. We have a lot of great people that help us with mock interviewings with our transition veteran, but understanding if I went in at 18 and a half years old, I retired at almost 40, 20 plus years. I did not do an interview in 20 plus years. And a lot of people may not understand that. I'm transitioning at 40. And the last time I was on an interview was in high school.
Yeah. Yeah. McDonald's or something like that, right? Yeah.
Right. I worked at Six Flags Over Georgia, from Atlanta, Georgia. So that's the last interview. Now take that to a transition veteran, whether they did 6 years, 8 years, they haven't done a resume because they've had no need to do one. All of these things it can be frightening because now you're stepping into this civilian community and you feel like, wow, everything I've done in the last 10, 15, 20 years, it doesn't translate. And we help them translate that.
And how much does the world change in 20 years? Is
God.
You saw it, right? So you go in after high school, you come out 20 years later. Is that like a Rip Van Winkle moment? Is it that big of a difference? It's got to be.
The work culture and the business culture is the biggest change because even when you're on deployment, you come home, you're with your family, you learn about technology, you have cell phones, you have computers, but actually the work atmosphere, how the civilian community works, team building in a corporate setting, different than, again, in the military, you're going to build a team because I told you to. Mm-hmm. Because I'm directing you to. It's a life and death mission before we go on deployment, so everyone will be qualified. Instead of encouraging and building people and going, hey, what does it take for you to succeed in this company? So it is a whole different mindset, and it can be scary.
and things are moving and changing even faster now. Everything is going. I mean, there's things that are happening now in business that you won't know about 3 years from now. It'll be
Exactly.
changed again. I'm interested then if we can dive a little bit deeper into the issues and the pressures, and then I want to talk about how you're helping these folks. What's it like for a veteran who has been on top and comes out and can't find work, can't assimilate, can't adjust, or at least has trouble to? Maybe can't isn't the right word, but struggles because, it's hard and everybody has hard times. What's that like? Can you remember, or do you know?
Oh yeah, I can remember it personally. I will start by saying that is the one thing we hear every class that we hold from veterans who say have been out 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Yes, I was a senior officer. I was a senior enlisted, and everyone was saying, "Oh, with your background, you're going to walk right into a career here in the state of Florida or whatever state you're in, and they're going to pay you 80, 90,000. You have all this background." And they're like, "I'm struggling. I can't even get on at Target. Filling out an application and putting it in this system." And that can be debilitating mentally and spiritually. It can be draining. It can almost push you to a point of wanting to give up. I can say personally for me, I had a situation happen in my work career where I was working with a nonprofit and I thought things were going well, not understanding, again, the civilian side of things. Within 2 years, they just came in one day and said, "Oh, by the way, we didn't get a lot of funding we thought. So out of the 300 people in this nonprofit, 175 are being let go. You'll be getting a call from HR if you're one of the ones in the next hour." I was one of the ones who got that call.
You got the call. Yeah.
Not that anyone did anything wrong or was derelict in their duties. Hey, we're cutting. Never had that happen in the military.
That's right.
So and it shook me like, okay, so just that quick, I'm out. And now I have a family to support. I have a wife and a daughter. You have to look at those things and adjust and get back on the horse. So resiliency is a part of our DNA, but it's a new war, a new battle, and it's hard.
Yeah, and it's a battle you haven't fought before. And I don't mean to say, "Oh, pity," I'm not trying to find extra sympathy here, but it's not the same as when a 30 or 40-year-old person they've been in the workforce for all their career, their job shuts down, they've got to find something. That's hard. That's impossible. But we get through those things.
Right.
But we've built a relationship and a foundation with our families and with our friends and with our other networking. And we've got a support staff that we can try to, we can get through it because we've done it already. You guys that are coming out of the military are leaving all of your support behind. And in fact, the support you have, I assume, is struggling with the same things that you're struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
How much harder then is it to be told no when you kind of don't know where to go? Is it harder than it would be for someone like me to just lose their job? It's got to be.
It is. It is very hard, partially because you felt that you were at the height of your career, the height of your field. You know how to make things happen, but you find out that you don't know how to translate what you did into business speak, into the corporate language. And so you could be the best at what you did, but if you don't know how to translate that in an interview or to HR, you're back at square one. You're just one of 200 people that have applied for that same position. So it can be debilitating. It can eat away at your personal your identity and role. It can actually have you feel, well, am I as great as I thought I was? And that's one of the things we work with at Operation New Uniform. Before we get into Sandler, the Ruby Group techniques or anything, we work on the person first. We have to get through those things because we're not lying to anyone. It's not going to be easy. Some people adjust quicker than others. No different than in the military. Some people took to it a little faster than others. Some people moved up in rank a little faster than others. So we are very honest and forward and letting them know it's not going to be an easy journey, but you have someone here. Now you have to rebuild, as you said, that support system, that team. You have to build that team of individuals in the business community like yourself who can guide and mentor you and help you. But you have to swallow your pride and understand I can be 40, finishing up 20 years, and it may be a 27-year-old who's been working in this field since they were 19 in the business community that can teach me something. So I have to humble myself and be teachable.
And that's that. And is that something that you're helping with, folks? We're talking with Tracey Bradley of Operation New Uniform, and I'm interested now in what Operation New Uniform does. What's that process? The veteran comes to you and sits down. I need help, and I want to talk too about how you find those folks and how they find you. But what's the process? Take me through it to get me from I just left and I'm about to head in. You step in. What do you do?
Well, first of all, you go on our website. It is www.onuvets.org. Fill out an application to apply for our program. Our program in the Jacksonville, Northeast Florida area is 3 weeks. It is a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for 3 weeks from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. And what we start with, our whole curriculum is created by the Sandler to Ruby group from their sales techniques on how to sell yourself. It's how we do it. It's all copyrighted material. Thanks to Dave Matson and the crew. They give that to us free of charge.
Yeah.
And we start with something as simple as, what do you want to be when you grow up? And take myself, for instance, and I go, well, I was an aviation ordnanceman in the U.S. Navy. I worked on aircraft carrying loaded bombs. Great. We didn't ask you that. What do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to do? If you had your druthers, what do you want to do? And we narrowed it down, and I had to say to myself, okay, I was out in the weather. I was in the elements. I was on flight decks. I don't like being in the weather no more.
Yeah, I want to go inside.
Exactly. And so we start there. Okay, well, what are your skills? We do DISC assessments on every student.
So a DISC assessment is?
DISC assessment is a personality assessment that lets you know what your personality are, DISC, whether you're a dominant person who just wants to get the job done and don't want the details. Or if you're a C, you're an analytical person who wants a checklist, methodical, or an I, which I am. You're outgoing. You're an influencer. You love to talk.
See that.
You can see I love to talk.
Yeah.
Or an S, you're a nurturer. You're a team builder. You find out what your identity is, the way God created you, and then try to see if that's the field you want to work in. It's not all about money. If you want to make a lot of money, we can try to find employer partners that can do that. But then it's about your passion, where you're going to like getting up and going to every day. And also letting our transition veterans know you have choices, because in the military, we didn't have choices. Orders get cut. I did 4 years in this place. Okay, now you're going to Italy for 4 years. Pack up your family.
Yeah.
Now you have a choice. And a lot of the transitioning veterans are like, wow, I never thought of that. So it's that process of just retraining the mind, behavior skills, and mindsets. And we go through that for 3 weeks. We have guest speakers from Sandler who come in and teach certain principles. I love the pain funnel.
The pain funnel. I was going to ask where the pain funnel comes in for your and folks. So the pain funnel is the whole world. You can ask somebody if they want to do something. The answer is always no until you find a little bit of pain. People don't make decisions based on need. They make it on a desire or a pain that they have within. And so Tracey, and that's a Sandler concept. Yes. Tracey, where does the pain funnel fit in your training for these veterans that are looking to assimilate themselves in their new environment?
About the third week of training, as we're going over when a transition veteran or spouse is at the interview, and you're at the end of the interview where the interviewer goes, do you have any questions for me? And we start with, well, tell me a little bit about, could you tell me about the position and what that entails? And they go, oh, well, this position with this company is A, B, C, or D. Then you hit the pain funnel. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yeah.
So how long has that been a problem?
Yeah.
And what have you done to try to fix this? And we teach totally different than the military mindset, talking about ourself and the team and them. We and us. No, let them do 80, 90% of the talking, and that is where you get the information that you need.
And is the last question, how soon can I start?
Exactly. We always end with like, after you go through the whole thing, and that we end with, and have you given up on solving that problem?
That's right.
Well, no, that's why we're interviewing. Well, no need to interview anymore. I'm here.
I'm here.
But the goal is, when you leave that interview using the Sandler sales technique, you're going to be different than the last 20 people that interviewed before you.
That's right.
You're going to stick in their head, wow, that person came in almost like they were interviewing me.
Yeah.
And that is the goal.
One of the biggest problems we have as managers and leaders is sometimes we're not focusing on leading, and we end up doing it for our sales team. How do we coach our people to help them figure out what self-limiting belief that they have that's holding them back from achieving the levels of success that they know they're capable of? Help them flush out what we call their own head trash, that thing that's holding them back. So work with your team, lead by example, watch your team achieve greater levels of success, and watch your team grow, and more importantly, watch your company and your business grow.
That means you care. See, you mentioned it's a technique, and it is, but it's also a principle. I think I want to know more about the person that's talking to me than I want them to know about me. I want to know more about what they need. And I think in sales, for what you're doing, almost anything in life, with my wife and I'm more interested in what she needs. And I'm better off when I'm asking what she needs than I am saying what I need. More than likely, when I do that right, if we're a good match, we'll come to the same conclusion anyway. And so thanks for everybody for sticking with our little bro fest there, talking about Sandler pain funnel. I think that's important, and I'm glad we were able to, because I just think I'm a big fan of what Sandler does. This isn't a Sandler commercial at all, but it's just it's fun to talk about because it's good stuff. Tracey, how many people have you helped? How many people are you going to help? What's next for Operation New Uniform? What are you trying to accomplish? What are the pressures that you're going to have to overcome to move to the next level and help even more people?
Okay, great question. How many people we've helped since Operation New Uniform was founded in 2014 by Pat and Michelle McManaman, who, Pat, they are Sandler franchisees. They started the program, scholared one veteran through Sandler's year-long sales training, and that veteran told them, I wish all veterans could see this and get this. And Michelle split from the franchisees and started Operation New Uniform. And she is still our CEO. And this is her passion. This is her calling from God. This is what she does. So since 2014 to just this past year, 2023, into 2023, we have helped over 500 veterans, transition veterans, and spouses through our program. Our program is free to all of our transition veteran spouses. They don't pay a dime. And out of that, we have a 97% success rate in those transition veterans and spouses finding a career in the field of their choice within 3 to 6 months of completing our program. We do follow along. They are part of our program forever.
Yeah, so they never really complete. They're part of it all along.
Never. They can work at a company for 2 years, 3 years and go, okay, now that I've kind of seen how this transition works, I want to look for something else. So I want to start my own business. Come on back home. We work with them. We network with them to get to meet individuals in the field that can help them. Moving forward, again, our word for 2024 is growth. And again, not growth in our team or growth as a huge company, but growth in the amount of people we can help. We average about 90 to 96 transition veteran and spouses per year that go through our program. We want to increase that to about 110, 120. We keep our classes small, between 10 to 15 individuals per class, so we can do a lot of one-on-one training. No death by PowerPoint. Everything is interactive. Students we go over these techniques, individuals from Sandler, whether remote or come to Jacksonville, Florida, and teach in class, and then they have to get up and repeat these for the next 2 weeks. We practice on each other. The rubber has to meet the road. So we've helped over 500 transition veteran spouses, and we're looking to do any more. I would say, to your last point, your last part of your question was some of the hurdles, some of the things that we're striving past. Again, we are a nonprofit just like any other nonprofit. You have your time when corporate giving and private giving is great, and then you have your seasons where it's not so great. So as a nonprofit, It's all about those who are willing to give what we call the 3 T's: time, talent, and treasure.
Mm-hmm.
Our veterans pay for nothing. Sandler, the Ruby Group, blesses us with the curriculum. The books that we use is kind of massaged and tailored on selling yourself instead of selling a product. So the veterans learn how to sell themselves. Community, other organizations, private donations. We have 2 major events each year that we raise money. We have our clay shoot, which is coming up here in April, where, those of you who like to go pull, and I'm a Northernman, and you shoot them shotguns, and, we have that. That's a big fundraiser for us. And we have our annual gala at the end of the year, which is this year going to be combined with a golf tournament. I am a golfer, as you know, being up in Ohio. So, yeah, it's all about, in order to keep this totally free to veterans, we're a nonprofit. At the end of the day, you've got to raise funds.
And is it only in Florida, or is it others? Do you have to live in Florida to take advantage of it, or are there other programs for other folks in different places?
Oh, other programs. Our brick and mortar location is in Northeast Florida, in Jacksonville, Florida, where we teach out of our offices. We have a small classroom space. We also teach in Tampa, boots on the ground, twice a year. But we also have an online training track where an individual who say, I have 6 months left and I can't take 3 weeks leave to go through this process. We have a self-paced online training course where Sandler individuals have recorded the videos kind of like they do. And we've recorded them as staff members, and they can go through. And also when we have a brick and mortar sit down class in Jacksonville, we have people from Texas, from North Carolina, from Virginia, from Arkansas, who can remote in and be a part of the class like we are now.
Okay, so it's not just for people in Florida. It's for everybody that can take advantage of it in some way.
Every transitioning vet who has served or is serving around the nation can take advantage of our program.
God bless you. That is amazing. I want to ask you how people will get in touch with you, but one question first. A lot of business owners and organization leaders are listening and watching this show, and they're having hiring issues. And I know it sounds good to hire a vet. I want to know why a business owner should look past some of the issues that you're trying to overcome and look past some of the benefits of maybe they don't quite have the requirements and hire a vet. I want to know what's in it for a business owner or an organization leader to make that leap.
Oh, great question. And I am speaking totally now from talking with SHRMs and different organizations in Northeast Florida. The best thing you get, I would say, from hiring any veteran is the best team member you will ever have. Something about in the society we live in today with the group of individuals where it's all about me. It's, I want to leave and go hang out, but I still want you to pay me a great amount, but I don't want to work, but I don't want to show up on time, but I want you to give me everything I want.
That's another show.
Yeah, but that is not a veteran, whether they did 4 years or 24 years. Even the HR individuals that I meet with said every veteran we hire, once they're trained, they are on board. Even if it's for a short period of time, that's just one step in their career path. When they're there on board, they're on board. They're on time, sometimes a little too early. It's in our DNA. If the meeting's at 8, we're there at 7:30, 7:45. You will have someone that you can trust and count on. You will have someone that's trainable, that's teachable. And after they finish our program, they understand the different nuances in this topsy-turvy world that we live in now of employment, of how they can be an asset to the organization, not just what can the organization give me.
Tracey, phone numbers, contact information, email, websites, what do you have? I know there's people that are going to want to reach out.
Definitely. The website, I would say go there. My information, our CEOs, our Chief Financial Officer, Shar Mill, all of our information is on the website. It is www.onuvets.org. You can go there and just read about us. You can even see some of our alumni that are still looking to start their careers, and we give a direct link right to their LinkedIn, where you can kind of check them out. But onuvets.org, you can find out about all our events, different things we have going on, see pictures of our gala, different events that we have. That's where you can find out everything you need to know about us.
I am the luckiest man in the world because I get to talk to people who truly care about what they do, who have overcome a lot of things to get there and want to make it better for others because of it. And that's purpose under pressure. And that's what this is all about. And Tracey, that's you defined.
Oh.
And you and your organization, Operation New Uniform. I'm just thrilled to have been able to have you tell the story, to be a little vulnerable about your situation, but to also share what's going on in the world when it comes to our vets. We need to take care of them in every way that we can. I think there's not enough ways for people to actually reach in deep and take care and to give back. And you're making that happen. And I really do appreciate everything that you're doing at Operation New Uniform.
Well, thank you for speaking with me. And purpose under pressure, awesome. We tell everyone pressure can bust a pipe, but a pressure applied the right way can make diamonds. And we're all about making diamonds.
That's it. Thank you, Tracey Bradley from Operation New Uniform, for being a part of Purpose Under Pressure. Yeah, the tagline at Operation New Uniform: building veterans' futures and saving veterans' lives. Wow. I mean, that's what it's all about. Tracey Bradley, Director of Operation New Uniform, our guest on Purpose Under Pressure, brought to you by the Sandler by the Ruby Group. Sellers are under pressure to perform, so are ex-military, and that's why Sandler's involved. Sandler will help you succeed on purpose. Check them out. You'll also want to check out past episodes of Purpose Under Pressure if you're interested. They are all at brianmediastrategies.com/podcast or wherever you stream your favorite shows. Folks, we do this every week, and we will see you next time on Purpose.